In terms of structure, yeah, I was laughing with you just before we started filming. My sister keeps saying to me she wouldn't know which day she's on if she didn't go to Sunday Mass because of her timetable. It's kind of all over the place. She's not busy on these days, so it almost like feels like she has a weekend in the middle of the week. Anyway, so what about the kind of structure of life? And
well, for me, it's fairly atypical to the usual.
But still, you're still operating within a student.
I am, yes, and so in some ways it's a little bit harder because everybody in my house is out at college or at work, and then I'm kind of sat there in the middle of the day on a Monday in my pajamas still, realising that I probably should have done a little bit of work in the middle of the morning, which I assume a lot more people at university will.
We just don't have the kind of conscience of all these people actually leaving the house. You're waking up, everyone's still in bed.
You just wake up and the house is silent, and you suddenly realise that it's 2:00 in the afternoon.
What about the structure of, say, prayer or mass or something?
I say the structure of mass really helps. Like I say, having to actually get up in the morning to actually start a day at about 8:00. To get to mass, and it's really nice that I get to have mass with my family as well. My dad's a deacon in my local parish, so it's nice that we have that familial tie with church. But then also it's nice that I have an access to a community in my campus. To go to mass during the week if I can, to go to holy days, to get to Ash Wednesday and stuff over Advent, stuff like that. So it's very good that I've got opportunities to seek the sacraments, even if I'm in between lectures and stuff like that.
Yeah, completely. And that's one of the things I've found is like the way it structures your week and your day. Say, so we do house group on like Tuesdays, so we'll do a house group on a Tuesday night. That will either be like a time of adoration and praise and worship, or there'll be some kind of, so we've got a swing dance one coming up, and there's all sorts. So there's a sense that, I know what I do on a Tuesday, I know what I do on a Sunday, and then I can kind of fit the week in between those, and I know I've got a time that will be concentrated around either prayer, so we do a holy hour before Mass on Sunday. So I've got a sense that as hectic as the rest, and as changeable as well, that's the other thing about unis. Like 1 week you'll be doing this, 1 week you'll be kind of off doing something else, you have a football tournament, like running around. So that sense that I've got some level of constant to return to, that is also, that sense of family is still very, I would say, very true for me as well, that I've got like something that's come with me from home that's very distinct, that's very kind of like, okay, I can bring this in and implement this and then start to own it in my life going forward. And that sense of, one of the ideas I talk a lot about with the other people in the CAFSOC and the chaplaincy and things like that is that, like, what are we training for? We've got cleaners in as well. What are we training for? So what are we building towards? So if I stole 2 weeks of your uni life, you know what you're saying about you having your pajamas on at 12:00 on a Monday.
Yeah.
So if I took a snapshot of maybe a couple of weeks or a month and said, okay, what kind of adult are we projecting here that goes off these behaviours, whereas actually the CAFSOC and things like that can start to build a structure within which I can project forward and say, actually I'm a weekly mass goer or a daily mass goer, or go kind of 3 times a week, and I'm building things into my life that will continue to hold when I don't have such a good access to maybe like a football team. I'm playing futsal myself, or other social events won't be so in your face. I'll have a working structure that fits better. Yeah, so I think it's an interesting thing. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's good to have a positive association with the word structure as well.
Yeah.
Because it's sometimes not the nicest of words, and I've not had the best kind of relationship with the whole idea of structure. Especially struggled with it during school, and obviously having to be in school every day. It's nice to have a structure, but then also you feel kind of trapped by it. But I feel like the sense of structure that you get with faith and with church is more of a freeing kind of structure, because it allows you to center yourself a little bit more. Yeah. And I feel like that's really necessary during the whole ordeal of university. Yeah. It's very interesting, because as a person of faith, you're called to be countercultural, and then the whole idea of culture at university is itself countercultural to the society that we live in. So you've almost got to be a counterculture of a counterculture without falling into the culture before. So there are a lot of cultures that you have to counter, and at the moment I'm losing track of what this word actually means because I've said it so much. But
understood.
But it's interesting that university can be a challenge, but equally it can be so freeing if you allow yourself to have a structure that puts your faith at the centre.